आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम। नगर नगर ये ग्राम और ये गलियारे, भरने इनमें नवजीवन के उजियारे। नगर नगर ये ग्राम और ये गलियारे, भरने इनमें नवजीवन के उजियारे। बार बार हम दोहराते हैं यही कसम, यही कसम, यही कसम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम। हमें हटाना घर घर से अंधियारा है, हमें तोड़नी पाखंडों की कारा है। हमें हटाना घर घर से अंधियारा है, हमें तोड़नी पाखंडों की कारा है। सच को कहने वाली चलती रहे कलम, चलती रहे कलम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम। कदम मिलाकर नर नारी सब और बढ़े, ज्ञान और विज्ञान नए सोपान चढ़े। कदम मिलाकर नर नारी सब और बढ़े, ज्ञान और विज्ञान नए सोपान चढ़े। देना है संदेश यही हमको हरदम, यही हमको हरदम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले।
ओम असतो मा सद्गमया, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया, मृत्युमा अमृतम गमया। ओम शांति, ओम शांति, ओम शांति। On behalf of the Public Relations Society of India, I, Shantanu Roy, welcome all the dignitaries, PRSI officials, mass communications, journalism, and public relation academicians and students who have joined on this virtual platform from across the country. Every profession earns its respect by the quality of services it delivers to the nation, that strength the profession draws through its practitioners and the professional bodies that lead the group. Public Relations Society of India is the national organization of India's public relations and communication professionals. 63 years of professional body has membership from private and public sectors, government, NGOs, PR consultants, advertising, and the mass communication academia. PRSI uses 360-degree communication tools in order to build public opinion on various issues and national and social importance, in addition to its core mission of strengthening the public relation and communication profession. COVID has impacted the entire world, and every government, corporate organization, and institution has been struggling to find solutions to sustain and move forward. PR and media industry has also been impacted in addition to the academics. We feel happy to be the part of PRSI, which has not given up in this pandemic era and has been active in all its professional and academic activity. Today, we are here to be the part of yet another initiative for the mass communication students, where for next 15 days, eminent professors of the country will be addressing the students. We are honored to have Shri Naresh Bansal, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, as our chief guest, and Mr. Philip Bormans, President, International Public Relations Association, as our guest of honor. We feel encouraged with their auspicious presence. Let us make a beginning with an invocation by Ms. Aprajit Nair, a mass communication student of Delhi.
Ya kundendu tusharahara dhavala, ya shubhravastra ya veena varadanda manditakara, ya shweta padmasana, या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता, सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा. शुक्लां ब्रह्म विचारसार परमा, आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीमभयदाम् जाड्यान्धकारापहाम्. हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं, पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्.
This is a momentous occasion for all those who are in mass communication, as a PRSI launches its free orientation program for the young upcoming professionals of the country. I now invite Shri Y. Babji, Secretary General of PRSI, for his formal welcome address.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to All India Public Relations and Mass Communication Student Orientation Program. This is hosted by Public Relations Society of India, the country's premier organization for PR professionals. In this orientation, there will be a series of lectures on specially chosen topics starting from today till 15th October every day at 5 p.m. for a 90-minute duration. This has been designed to benefit the students of public relations, mass communication, journalism, advertising, marketing communication, etc. Best of the academicians, faculty and experts from all over the country will be addressing the participants. Ladies and gentlemen, the Host Public Relations Society of India is a national association of PR practitioners that was established in 1958. Its objective is to promote the recognition of PR as a profession. It endeavors to formulate and interpret the objectives and the potentialities of public relations as a strategic management function. Members of the society are public relations practitioners drawn from multinational entities, government departments, public and private sector organizations, academic institutions, and PR consultancies. Maintaining relations with public was felt necessary for the governments and organizations a few centuries ago, and such relations were confined to propaganda, lobbying, publicity, public influence, press agentry, spin doctoring, etc. But the advent of PRSI gave these rudimentary practices a refined approach, duly adopting a code of ethics. PRSI's, the very first All India Conference in 1968, held in Delhi on a theme related to professional approach, made a beginning of professional public relations in the country. So far, PRSI conducted 42 national conferences and international conferences like 9th PR World Congress at Mumbai in 1982, First Asia Pacific PR Meet at Kolkata in 1998, and International Public Relations Conference at Bangalore in 2002. PRSI is recognized as the national PR organization by International Public Relations Association, that is IPRA. PRSI is one of the founder members of Global Alliance of Public Relations and Communication Management. Global Alliance is a confederation of 126 countries today. PRSI confers national level corporate awards, leadership recognitions, and awards for performance every year. And these awards carry immense value for the recipients. The role played by PRSI during Corona pandemic days in creating public awareness has been acknowledged both nationally and internationally. Welcome the chief guest of this program, Sri Naresh Bansal ji. Naresh ji is a veteran Indian politician. He is presently a member of parliament in the Rajya Sabha from Uttarakhand. He was earlier General Secretary and also working president of BJP's Uttarakhand State Unit. Welcome the guest of honor, Mr. Philip Boremans, President of IPRA 2021, the International Public Relations Association, London. Mr. Philip is an independent PR consultant based in Portugal. He is specialized in online risk and crisis communications. He worked at Porter Novelli International and IBM. He is a guest lecturer at several universities and a podcaster. Glad to invite Dr. Ajit Pathak ji, National President of Public Relations Society of India, the architect of several innovative professional programs, including this novel event of orienting the students towards practical public relations. Under his able guidance, PRSI is making meaningful strides in realizing its aims and objectives. Happy to invite my colleagues Sri Dilip Chauhan, Secretary Treasurer, Sri Narendra Mehta, National Vice President North, Srimati Anu Majumdar, National Vice President East, Sri Unmesh Dikshit, National Vice President West, Sri E.S. Sharma, National Vice President South, chairpersons of the regional chapters, members of National Council, members of PRSI Pan India and PR fraternity of the country. We also invite the speakers that will be presenting their lectures and the student community to this wonderful interface of the teacher and the TAT. On the first day today, let us listen to Professor Rajkumar Singh, Dean, HOD and Chairperson, Center for Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Skill Development, School of Management Sciences, Varanasi, on the topic Entrepreneurship Avenues in Mass Communication as a Career Option. Ladies and gentlemen, we once again welcome you all to this 15-day orientation program of Public Relations Society of India. Thank you.
The PRSI has been appreciated and recognized worldwide for its praiseworthy professional contribution. The organization is ably led by Dr. Ajit Pathak, the national president who himself has seen all aspects of mass communication, be it radio, television, journalism, cartooning, and hardcore public relations. Architect of this orientation program, Dr. Pathak is the first Indian to achieve PhD in public relations. May I now invite National President of PRSI for past 17 years, past Secretary of Global Alliance of Public Relations and Communication Management, and past board members of International Public Relations Association, Dr. Ajit Pathak for his address.
Namaskar. Chief guest of today's function, Shri Naresh Bansal ji, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha from Uttarakhand. Our guest of honor, Mr. Philip Boremans, President, International Public Relations Association, National Vice Presidents of PRSI, Ms. Anu Majumdar, Mr. Narendra Mehta, Mr. Unmesh Dikshit, and Mr. U.S. Sharma, Secretary General, Mr. Y. Babji, and Secretary Treasurer, Mr. Dilip Chauhan, PRSI chapter leaders, professors of various mass communication and public relations institutions, and the future communicators of the country, bright students of mass communication participating from various parts of the country. I welcome you all on behalf of the Public Relations Society of India at this first of its kind orientation program for the students. For the next 15 days, the mass communication students will be benefited sitting at home to take advantage of the lectures of the eminent professors of the country. We have tried to provide academic inputs to the next generation covering all the aspects of PR and mass communication. Pushed to wall by the pandemic, the present society and the competitive business environment presents great challenges. There are compelling situations and there are ample opportunities waiting to be explored. World's best companies are busy in reinventing themselves and their industries after the COVID-19, which has redefined rule of the game. While we all were pushed to wall to sustain, positive indications started coming in. A number of overseas companies have decided to shift base from China to India. This scenario thus presents a fertile ground and rich opportunities for public relations to interpret this new situation and help derive benefits to the competing organizations and the country as a whole. As you all know, public image is what others feel and perceive about you, and this perception and reputation is a matter of great concern and consequence for people and organizations. Right from the ancient times, the factor of public perception has become even more significant today. Responding to the severe pandemic challenges, PRSI launched an All India Corona Awareness Drive, Vijay Bharat Abhiyan, promotion of new education policy, promotional scheme for research in public relations, and organized a very successful 42nd All India Public Relations Conference and PRSI National Awards function. A number of competitions were also organized during last 2 years for mass communication teachers and students. In the same series, we now present to you all this lecture series. My gratitude to all the professors who have joined hands with PRSI to reach out to the students with best of the academic package. I take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest, Shri Naresh Bansal, Member of Rajya Sabha from Uttarakhand, for taking out time to be with us. His blessings will go a long way as he is a leader who is public figure, and all these years with his commitment for social service, with his dedicated efforts for promotion of education and healthcare, and through various parliamentary committees for labor and skill development, he has given his best to the society, and he is always with PRSI for our positive moves. It is our great privilege to have with us Mr. Philip Boremans, President of the International Public Relations Association. He leads the world PR body which was established in 1955 and is a leading platform for the development of PR professionals. PRSI has signed an agreement of mutual cooperation with IPRA to work together. I am grateful to you, Philip, to join us today. I personally respect the philosophy of industry academia cooperation to promote the profession. This orientation program is yet another bouquet having the fragrance of both. I would like to appeal to all my young friends to take full advantage of this great learning opportunity. Let us all join hands to take India to the next level with our committed efforts. चुनौतियां तो आती रहेंगी जीवन में, चुनौतियां तो आती रहेंगी जीवन में, दोस्तों हमारे और तुम्हारे, जाना है उस पार तो दरिया से जूझो, कहां तक चलोगे किनारे किनारे, कहां तक चलोगे किनारे किनारे। आपका एक बार फिर हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन। जय भारत। नमस्कार।
We are extremely privileged to have with us President of International Public Relations Association, which was established in 1955. And it is the leading global network for PR professionals and their personal capacity. IPRA aims to advance trusted communication and the ethical practice of public relations. We do this through networking, our code of conduct, and intellectual leadership of the profession. Philip Bormans is an independent public relations consultant, specializing in emergency, risk, and crisis communication, and President of International Public Relations Association 2021. He worked on strategic communication projects for epidemic and pandemic preparedness with organizations like the World Health Organization, the European Union, and the West African Union. Before emigrating to Morocco and later to Portugal, he was Chief Social Media Officer and CSR Coordinator of Van Market Trading Group. During 10 years, he held several communication positions at IBM, including corporate and online communication on national and European level. Philip started his public relations career at Porter Novelli International in Brussels. He is a regular guest lecturer at universities and business schools across Europe and North Africa. May I now present to you our guest of honor, Mr. Philip Bormans.
Dear colleagues of the Public Relations Society of India, thank you very much for allowing me to have a brief moment on this occasion of the program that you're rolling out. I think it's a great example of what you're doing. It's a free program, which is impressive because you're going over a couple of days touching upon very important topics of the public relations profession. Dear students, this is important. One of the things that we have as a profession on a global scale need to do more is exactly what you're going to do now in a couple of days, which is invest in knowledge, skills, and your experience. You're going to learn from people who have been in the business for a long time. So truly dedicate that time, focus completely on what our colleagues will be telling you, because it is an important step in your career. And it's also a step, maybe a first one for some of you, but that will never stop. That is the beauty of the public relations profession. We never stop learning. Things evolve very rapidly in communications, and even after a couple of years, like myself, more than 25 years in the business, I still keep on learning every single day. So that is also the beauty of our profession. So I wish you all a great time studying, learning from each other. And again, thank you, Public Relations Society of India, for organizing this. It's important. You're doing great work. And I would just close by saying that the International Public Relations Association will always be there to support you, to help you. Don't hesitate to reach out. And I wish you a great training and learning event. Thank you very much.
It gives me immense pleasure to now invite our chief guest, Shri Naresh Bansal, member of Rajya Sabha from Uttarakhand, who is in public life for more than 3 decades with his commitment for social service. He has been serving the society with his knack for labor issues skill development, education, and healthcare. He has always been a great support to PRSI, and today's event, which is focused to provide different dimension of mass communication, a person who belongs to masses will be the ideal choice to inaugurate. May I request our Honorable Chief Guest Shri Naresh Bansal to address us.
Respected Mr. Philip Borman, President International Public Relations Association, Dr. Ajit Pathak, President Public Relations Society of India, Mr. Y. Babji, Secretary General of PRSI, National Vice Presidents, Secretary Treasurer, and National Council members of the Society, renowned academicians from across the country, and the students of public relation, journalism, and mass communication from various universities and institutes of India. Hearty greetings to you all on this momentous occasion of the inauguration of the 15th day long All India PR Mass Communication Orientation Program for Students, being organized by the Public Relations Society of India, which will help young PR media and advertising students through virtual platforms to complete their curriculum and upgrade their knowledge, besides filling the gap of practical trainings of these students who have been deprived of practical trainings because of Corona. The world is currently passing through a period of unprecedented crisis which has put all of mankind in crisis. World wars first and second did not impact as many countries as have been affected by the coronavirus in last 2 years. Government of India took elaborate measures to save life of 135 crore Indians. Our doctors and paramedical staff, police, administration teams all worked day and night to save us. Now life is coming back slowly to its normal. But still we have threats of the third wave, and we all need to continue with all the precautions we have learned in recent time. Considering the COVID environment, while PRSI took praiseworthy initiatives of corona awareness, it has organized this 15-day long All India PR Mass Communication Orientation Program for students from 1st October to 15th October 2021, presenting best of the accommodations and professionals for the students who are pursuing public relations, journalism, and mass communication courses. I congratulate Public Relations Society of India for such a professional approach to help the youth of our nation. I also express my appreciation for the professors of various universities who will be providing needed knowledge to them. The Public Relations Society of India, the national body of public relations and communication practitioners, has been rendering commendable services towards spreading awareness on international, national, and social issues and shaping public opinion, besides the core responsibility of upgrading the public relations wealth of the country. PRSI, through its sustained efforts and campaigns, has emerged as the collective voice of public relations and the media intelligentsia. I appreciate the efforts undertaken by PRSI for taking up the issues of national concern from time to time. Over the years, PRSI has worked on various themes of national concern. I am very happy that the organization also worked on the theme of One Nation, One Agenda, One Voice, Ek Rashtra, Ek Sankalp, Ek Swar. Political parties may have their own philosophies and agendas, but need of the country is to have consensus on basic national agenda, on which all the political parties should be one voice and no political ambitions or strategy should impact the national agenda. Vijay Bharat Abhiyan has also been launched by the Public Relations Society of India with the positive hope that India will redefine the economic development, global business, and inclusive growth based on our traditional treasure of knowledge, innovation, and creativity post Corona and the movement of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India will put India on top of the world. Corona will continue to trouble the human life for some more time, and we shall have to keep propagating awareness efforts. I appreciate innovative ways of working of PRSI, which adds value to the efforts of Government of India under the able leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi for Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. Present times need us to work for high standards of performance and excellence to continuously raise our bar to contribute our bit to make India the winner. I take this opportunity to also welcome Mr. Philip Bourbon, President International Public Relations Association, who has been closely working with the leadership of PRSI, ably led by Dr. Ajit Pathak. This event surely is a very positive step to take India to the winning heights. My best wishes for the successful of this very meaningful initiative. Jai Hind.
Sir, thank you very much for your inspiring words. Your blessings will make this 15-day orientation program a memorable event in the history of PR education. We are grateful to our dignitaries for gracing this mega mass communication event. I also express gratitude towards the professors who have given vivid inputs to their students in their respective sessions. I appeal to all the students to take full advantage of this opportunity given to them. Friends, now we move to the first lecture of this orientation program, Entrepreneurship Avenues in Mass Communication as a Career Option in Industry. The Indian media and entertainment industry, which is a major component of mass communication industry, is a sunrise sector for the economy and is making significant strides. Proving its resilience to the world, Indian media and entertainment industry is on the verge of a strong phase of growth, backed by rising consumer demand and improving advertising revenue. According to a FICCI EY report, the advertising to GDP ratio is expected to reach 0.4% by 2025 from 0.38% in 2019. Looking to this scenario, there is an immense entrepreneurial avenues which a student of mass communication may think upon and get success by development of a successful business model. And Professor Rajkumar Singh, School of Management Sciences, Varanasi, will enlighten us on the subject. Professor Dr. Rajkumar Singh has done MBA from Institute of Management Studies, BHU, and PhD from VVS Purvanchal University. He has also acquired PG Diploma in Export Management and Journalism and Mass Communication. Before joining academics, he has served the corporate world for over 20 years as a management professional in the field of consumer durables, FMCG, and pharmaceutical sectors. Presently, he is the Dean R&D and Head of the Department of Commerce, Chairman of Center for Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Skill Development, and Chairman of Center for Advanced Research and Development. I now invite Professor Dr. Rajkumar Singh for his session.
Myself, Professor Rajkumar Singh from School of Management Sciences, Varanasi, welcome you all in this All India PR Mass Communication Orientation Program for the students. I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Ajit Pathak ji, the National President of the Public Relations Society of India. Today, we'll have a deliberation on the entrepreneurship avenues in mass communication as a career option in Industry 4.0. As you all know, in everybody's life, the career is a very important aspect. And while doing a career planning, normally we are in dilemma, especially the undergraduate students, and they don't know what to do after that. And that's why sometimes they take a wrong decision. And as you all know, even if you take a wrong decision in our life, that can harm us a lot. Normally, for any such professional course like PR and mass communication, there are three major avenues. One, you go to the industry, the mass communication industry, media industry, PR industry, or you choose for an academic career, or there is a third option which is very fastly emerging, that is entrepreneurship. Nowadays, you must have heard about so many startups in India as well as abroad. So, how a student of mass communication and PR can think of a career option as an entrepreneur? So, this is the today's topic. Why I added Industry 4.0? As you all know, at present we are moving through Industry 4.0, means everything is made digitally smart. We are working in the era where everything has to be digitally smart. Every business, everything. And we are talking about the digital marketing, we are talking about the social media marketing and so many things. So first I will come to some basic concept of the mass communication. As a student of mass communication, you should know about that. The communication professor, Dufleur and Dennis, has defined the mass communication as it is a process in which the professional communicators use media to disseminate message. So message is one part. Widely, rapidly, and continuously to arouse intended meaning in the large and diverse audience in an attempt to influence them in a variety of ways. So here it's a mass communication, not an individual communication. The strategical aspects will be different. So in this definition, if you see, the focus is on message dissemination to a large audience. So message becomes important, your content becomes important, and the audience to whom you are addressing becomes important. So your content of the message and your audience, they both should be in one tune. They should be matching with each other. And you have to apply various channels to that. Maybe print media, maybe electronic media, and nowadays, whatever the new dimensions of the digital media, social media is emerging, that will be the part of that. So why we do that? To accomplish certain goals, whatever the desired goals of your organization, the society, that has to be achieved. So here, if you see in this entire definition, is basically focus on the academic and practical as to the mass media that one can accomplish to the learning and practices. See, as I told you, this is the era of digital marketing. Digital marketing is flourishing like anything. And social media, you all are social media, we all are social media, and we know the impact of the social media. India's 60% population are below 40%. So it's the youngest country in the world. And every young population is having their own desire, their own aspirations. So if we have to adjust something to this young population, obviously we have to go through the social media, where the maximum people are there. Digital marketing has become pertinent because nowadays we use these smartphones, and through these gadgets, instead of going for the things in a physical form, we go through the digital form. So we have to understand the difference between the conventional and unconventional mass media, and what is the mass communication approach. Because there we can think of our career, whether as an industry professional or an academician or an entrepreneur. See, as I told you, the industry 4.0 has focused more on the digital dimension. But now this is being realized that excessive digitalization is must. But with that, we need to have a human touch also. We cannot lose the human touch. And that's why there is an emerging concept of the industry 5.0. Means apart from the digital dimensions, the human touch should be there. And this is the way the society is also moving. Society is also moving from society 4.0 to society 5.0. And since the purpose for any education is to take care of the need of the society as well as the industry, the education has also to move from education 4.0 to education 5.0. And that is why we are at present living in the era where digitalization is must. But at the same time, we need to work towards understanding of the human being and understanding their importance. The Indian media and entertainment industry, I would like to share a few figures with you so that you can understand what is the potential. It is a major component of the mass communication industry. It is basically a sunrise industry. It's a sunrise sector for the economy and is making a significant stride. So it provides its resilience to the world, and Indian media entertainment industry, this is in a verge of a strong phase of growth. It's growing like anything, backed by the rising consumer demand. Disruptive innovations are coming. We have seen the emergence of the OTT and improving advertising rates. When media exposure will be more, media preferences will be more, then obviously the advertising revenue will also. So if you see the FICCI EY report, understanding report, the advertising to GDP ratio is expected to reach 0.4% by 2025 from 0.38% in 2020. So we are growing actually. We need to understand that the ratio in the entire GDP of this media entertainment industry is gradually growing. And according to an understanding report, the Indian media and entertainment sector stood at rupees 1.38 trillion US dollar. So in 2020, and it is estimated at rupees 1.79 trillion rupees in 2021. So further, it is projected to go to rupees 2.23 trillion by 2023. Yes, by next year, next 2 years. And this is due to the acceleration of digital adoption among users across the geography, especially the youth. So this market is projected to increase at a CAGR of 17% between 2020 and 2023. So at present, in this market, as we have seen in the last 1.5 years and more than that, we are suffering from the problem of the pandemic. But people dependency on the media has increased because in the lockdown phase, another phase, we have to go to the digital media. Even in the education part also, we have to utilize that. In financial year 2020, the digital and online added revenue stood at rupees 26 billion in the media entertainment sector, and their contribution to the sector increased by 23% in 2020 from 16% in 2019. As I was telling you, that because of the COVID, this was an opportunity for the media industry also, because people were spending more and more time towards these media, and especially with the OTT, the spending of the people towards that has increased, and exposure towards that has increased. So with the media and entertainment sector, the emerging areas where you can think of having entrepreneurial dimensions, whether you go for join as a professional or you can start your own venture. The major areas are the animation, the visual effects, gaming, the comic sector, because they are going at the rate of 29% CAGR, so which is very high, you can understand. And while the audiovisual sector and service is rising at the rate of 25%, with the increasing emphasis on the digital marketing, one of the area which is very much emerging, I will focus on that part, that is the content writing. Because with the increase in the digital marketing, there is a dearth of people who are expert in the content writing. And writing has become such a profession, content writing has become such a profession which is much in demand. Because everywhere you need the matter, you need the content, whether it's a website, whether it's something like a blogging, something like a e-literatures, everywhere you need the people who can create an excellent content. So this is one area which you can think of. And looking to the scenario, there is an immense entrepreneur avenues which any student of mass communication may think of. Just think beyond doing a job, because a job is having a saturation, and after a certain period of time, if you are a creative person, you will not be satisfied with your job, because creativity is something which is beyond the boundary. And if you are being limited to a certain boundary, then you will feel suffocated. So if you are and every mass communication student, I know very well that they are very creative. Being a student of mass communication, apart from MBA, I know this creativity aspect, and for that, your own venture will satisfy you a lot. So you need to understand. But the only problem is that you need to go through all these things to a successful business model. And why I'm saying so, that I will explain later on. So for the technological infusion the mass communication is concerned, now you see the technology has been playing a dominant role in transmit, interpret, and receive the information. So we have seen the technology is the driving force behind the three biggest trends. First is the digital news. Second, this is very popular, the social media. And third, which is very fast emerging, is the mobile communication. With the coming of the geo-like features, where the optical fiber technology has dominated the entire telecommunication industry, this mobile communication has become an important part of the mass communication. So, which now has also submerged, you see, the print media, emergence of e-newspaper. Nowadays, I've seen that many students don't go for a physical form of newspaper, rather they like more e-newspaper. TV has emerged in a different view, radio has emerged in a different view, advertising is taking a different shape, public relation activities, which were basically uh, it was a human being in core, has also been influenced by the digital dimensions. The corporate communication, the feature films, lot many things you are seeing now. The technology oriented feature films are being made with animation, and so many kind of effects are being produced. So this become important. The short films, documentaries, music, podcast, the visual design, animation. So these kind of things are emerging in both as a career option, in industry professional also, as well as an entrepreneur. So what are the skills which you require? First, I would like to say, when you are thinking of starting your own venture, first do your SWOT analysis. Means what? First, you try to analyze what are your strength areas. Try to understand and just point it on certain piece of paper with a pen. Write down that what are your strengths. Maybe five, maybe six, maybe seven, maybe one. But first, you should know about your strength. And at the same time, what are your weaknesses? Accepting the weakness is a very challenging, because we sit or talk many things about our strength, but normally we don't accept what are our weaknesses. So whether you accept or not accept, but weakness is a weakness, and this is going to create a problem. If you know what are your weaknesses, you can search for the solution. These two are the internal analysis, and when you are aware of your strengths and weaknesses, then you search for the opportunities available in the market. Suppose, as I've told you, you are good in writing, then you can think of starting your own venture in the field of content writing, or you want to join some organization as a content writer. But if you are having your own venture, you should be having this content writing as your startup. This will help. So, based upon your strengths and weaknesses, you can think of what are your opportunities. And at the same time, you should also know about the challenges, threats which are coming from the market. Many times, my students, the startup students ask me, so there are so many big players in the industry. How will I fight with them? So I just say one thing, that your innovation and your quality of service delivery mechanism. So if you are innovative, your writing is effective, you are innovative, your creation is effective, and you deliver your services in time, a quality service, then it doesn't matter whether you are a small firm, new firm, or a big firm. So read and analyze the current events that are happening around the local and global economy. This is very important part for any mass communication. You should be a keen observer. Whatever is happening around you, you must know about it. Because see, any successful business model, any startup business model, if you see, they all have tried to solve certain problems. See, we don't purchase a product or service, we actually purchase a solution. So any startup is not just selling a product or service, they sell a solution. So whether the solution provided through our innovative thinking is appropriate or not, that we have to think of. You must have a desire to learn and get exposure to new tools and techniques. New and new things are happening. I'm having a deliberation on the Zoom. And why Zoom becomes successful? Or why the Google Meet, WebEx become successful? Because they solve our problem of not contacting physically or not appearing physically in front of us. Because of COVID, we have seen so many issues has been there. And if you see all successful model, I will take one example, although it's of different industry, but this will be, you can understand very well, that Flipkart, we take the example of Flipkart, you must be purchasing from Flipkart. Their success was based upon the 3C model, the choice, convenience, and cost. Physically, if you go to any store, we don't have much choice, but on Flipkart, you are having a choice. You can have multiple products. You are having convenience. Just order it, and within 2-3 days, the products will be delivered at your doorstep. Unlike if you physically go somewhere, you have to move here and there, and still you are not finding the product. Then cost. Obviously, when intermediaries are not there, the many channel partners are not there, the direct marketing to the e-commerce, the cost will be reduced. You will be charged less. And if you see your purchasing cost, when you go to outside, you spend so many money on your fuel and all these things. This is also being saved. So by addressing these 3 problems, the model has become successful. Risk is everywhere. In any business, any entrepreneurial venture, risk is there. But I always used to say to all my students, just follow 4-point formula. Think big, start small, grow gradually, and grow globally. Think big. Your vision should be big, but start small. Flipkart has started with just 4 lakh rupees, and just by selling the online books. And now you can see the site. And grow gradually. Don't grow abruptly, otherwise your risk will be maximized. And grow globally. In the field of mass communication, the entire world is a market for you. With the digital marketing, the entire world is a market for you. You can do the content writing of any agency anywhere in the world if you are having that kind of caliber, and you are having that kind of caliber, because Indians are dominating every phase of industry in every part of the world, whether it's USA, Germany, France, Japan, everywhere you find the Indians, and they are doing well. So you should be able to understand newer and newer tools. See the social media market. Here, the importance of artificial intelligence you can understand. So you should be aware of all the new aspects of the technology which is emerging and which will emerge. You should be having the ability for the crafting, drafting and interpreting the message using the industry-driven software. Whatever new softwares are coming, you should be aware of that. So on one hand, you should be a creative person. On the other hand, you should be a techno-savvy person also. You should be having the ability of using the innovative research tools and techniques, because innovation is one thing which is a continuous process, which is a dynamic process. It's not a static process. So you need to be very clear what is happening around you. And if anything is happening, you should keep on doing the researches also. For example, what is the likings and dislikings of the present youth, present college going boys and girls? Otherwise, you will not be able to create any message for them, they create any advertisement film for them, any kind of content for them. So you need to understand their lifestyle, their way of thinking, and their entire mindset. And for that, you need to do the researches from time to time to understand the consumer behavior. Because without understanding the consumer behavior, if you launch any product or service, that is going to be a failed one. Because human aspiration is one thing which is continuously changing, and you have to change accordingly. You should have a good command over the language, whether it's Hindi, whether it's English. And here I would like to say that if you are having a command on English, super. But at the same time, you should know about the Hindi also. Because nowadays I am observing that there's a lot of demand of the Hindi writers, because this is a common man language, and you should having the command on both English and Hindi. And if you know the other languages also, fair enough. Be a keen observer, as I've told you, what is happening around you. And at the same time, try to find out where the problem is. Because in the field of management, we always used to say that where there is a problem, always there is a solution. See, in India, the scenario of doing a business is improving. World Bank every year release the ease of doing business index. In 2014, the India's position was quite poor. Out of 190 countries, our position was 142. Means 141 countries were ahead of us. We are doing a business was quite easier than India. But now, as per 2020 ease of doing business index, our position has improved, and now we are 63. So still 62 countries are ahead of us. And personally, I feel that the country like India, where young talents and very dynamic talents are, like you are present, India should be at least in top 5, and it will be in top 5. The way we are going, it's not a tough task for us. Only thing is that we should think in this direction, and we should work in this direction. So you can understand the scenario is changing, and day by day, the ease of doing business index we are improving, means our ecosystem is improving. On the innovation front, also we have improved a lot. Out of 131 countries, few years back our position was over 100. Last year our position was 48 out of 131 countries, and just 3 days back I read in newspaper that our position has improved from 48 to 46. So it means we are innovating, we are becoming an innovative society. But yes, as we all know, in the innovation front, the IPR is very important, and this is the innovation index is being decided on the basis of the number of patents we file. Unfortunately, the number of patents we file, less than 1% of the patent filed is practically converted to a feasible, viable product in the market. So this happens because although we are innovating, but any innovation is of no use if it is not going to serve the society, the individual, the industry, human being as a whole, and the entire international community as a whole, as well as the environment, which is on the top priority agenda in the United Nations front also. because United Nations is also focusing on that part, that you should have a more and more emphasis on the sustainable development part. So these areas, the innovation front is open, and we need to work in this direction. Uh, the startup success rate, although Government of India has launched so many schemes, you must be knowing the Startup India, Skill India, Atmanirbhar Bharat package was announced last year by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. However, in spite of all these efforts, still the success rate of startup in India is less than 10% in 5 years, and when it comes to 10 years, only 1% startup is successful. So this is again happening because we are not addressing properly the need and want of the customer with an innovative product or services. So if you wish to become an entrepreneur, you should always think of that. Only with one product or one service or one stereotype way you cannot survive for a longer period of time. So you need to have a sustainable business model. And major reasons are that we lack the entrepreneurial mindset, we lack the entrepreneurial ecosystem, because still in India, I have seen, especially in the northern region where I live, that we don't welcome the entrepreneurs. We appreciate more the people who are working somewhere in some industry. But if someone wants to start their entrepreneurial career, we don't appreciate it much. So first, the society has to change their mindset. Although this is changing, gradually this is changing, and this will change because now we don't have any option. Entrepreneurship is not going to be a choice. After a certain period of time, you find that this is going to be compulsory because jobs are reducing and job creators are also reducing. So when there will be more and more job creators, only then the job will be created. So we need to have that kind of mindset. The startup ecosystem needs to be developed on the 5 helix model, where the industry, academia, government, society, and environment, these all should work together. See, industry is working well, academia is working well, government is working well, but they all are working in 3 different islands. There is a very less interconnectivity. There is a very less interconnectivity of the society with the government, industry, and academy. And the most ignorant part is the environment. We are exploiting the environment, but we are not enriching the environment. This is very important. We need to nourish the environment because ultimately our survival is based upon the survival of the environment. If you harm the environment will harm us. So we need to have a lack. We have seen that there is a lack of feasible and sustainable business model. That's why these startups are getting failed, because we need to have a solution-oriented mindset, a solution-oriented product. So in the mass communication also, whatever you are thinking of any venture, it should be user-friendly and it should be innovative. It should be in accordance with the need and wants of the customer. One area where normally the startups lack is the poor financial management. So you should know the basics of finance. And I will not go into the various nitties and gritties of financial management, because being a student of mass communication, you may be thinking that I don't know about the management as such. I'm a student of management as well as mass communication both. I'm telling you the simple thing. Whatever your income is, try to have your investment or expenditures less than that or according to that. Whenever your expenditure will increase your income, then only the problem creates. As we say, कि जितनी बड़ी चादर हो उतना ही पांव फैलाना. So you have to think in that way. And that's why your budgeting becomes very important. As we do in our home, the salary which we are getting, we have to take care of our expenses accordingly. That's why I've told you that think big, start small, grow gradually. Because you need to maintain the cash flow. What is the ratio between your cash inflow and what is the ratio between your cash outflow? You have to maintain that. So financial management is an important part. There is a lack of proper incubation and post-launch support. Normally, we have seen that products are being launched, but after launching, so many problems comes, and people don't know how to solve the problem. The startups don't have that much of money to afford the very costly consultant. So what they need to do? The incubation centers should be in connection with people who are having some industrial background so that they can provide a proper consultancy to these kind of startups. In my institute, School of Management Sciences, Varanasi, we are having a center for entrepreneurship, innovation, and skill development. This is one of the business incubation center also. So every year, two, three startups come from my center. I'm chairperson of that center. And because I've spent more than 20 years in the industry and still I'm consultant of various industry. So I know the problems very well. So when they launch their product and they contact me, that sir, I'm having this kind of problem. So I come with some solution and we provide these kind of services to our students free of cost. And here from this platform, I'm offering my services to any of the incubation center in India. If they want my services or the consultancies to their startups, I will provide these services to all our mass communication students free of cost. I'm in the panel of the IM Kashipur Incubation Center because see, if the startup will grow in the country, only then the country will flourish. Now I'm coming to a very specific sector because time is very short, so I cannot cover all the sectors as a whole. One of the emerging sectors in which I am also working, that is a content services. See, whatever you write on a Facebook is also a content. Whatever you write on your blog is also a content. Whatever you write on a Twitter, this is also a content. So these are your personal content. But suppose there is a website and they have to highlight the main features of their services or their product. They need the content writer because every entrepreneur is not a good content writer. They can be a good manufacturer, they can be a good service provider, they can be a good manager also. But writing is a different kind of a skill. And being a student of mass communication, you know this skill. You will be trained to write, trained to skill at how to write a content. So try to take part in that because with the emergence of the digital media, there is a very dearth of the content writer. They are much in demand, and you can start your own venture. So I will give you few of the areas. It is very difficult for me to explain every area because time is very short. I will just take the name of these areas and you can understand how diverse that area is. Writing a video script, email newsletters, because you know nowadays we are communicating with emails. There are so many newsletters that have been sent to even times people need some people to write their keynote speeches. If you are expert in that, you can do that. There are so many leaders whose speeches are being written by someone else. Likewise, the commercial social media posts, your podcast, your white papers, your web page copy, your landing pages. Nowadays, you are seeing so many YouTube channels are coming. So their YouTube video descriptions, people make the YouTube, but they don't know how to write the description. Even they don't know how to script their video. Blog writing. So now commercially, these blogs have become very popular and companies are hiring the people for writing their blogs. Then you can be a brand journalist. You can write a brand story, you can write the press releases, you can write the customer stories, their interviews, the internal communication, your company bios, business bios. You can be a copywriter. This is a very, very classic area and evergreen area. You can have a, if you have the knowledge of writing, how to write a website copy, infographics, whether it's a traditional print media ad material, for example, the posters, dangles, stickers, all the content written on that. So work of the copywriter. Outdoor media, copy for the hoardings, signage, signboards, electronic media for TV and radio, social media advertisement, product descriptions, labels of the products, service descriptions, all the promotional advertisement, social advertisements. So many sales collaterals are being developed by agencies. So with the tie-up with these agencies, because agencies are there, but they don't have a full-time content writer. You must be knowing about that. They hire such kind of people. So if you are having that kind of venture, you can provide your services to them. If you are good in writing of articles and all these things, you can be a ghost writer also. You are writing for someone, articles, ebooks, white papers, some other kind of contents which you are writing actually for others. If you are good to how to know how to write a project proposal, because nowadays so many projects are being invited, people don't know how to write a project report. Technical writing. For example, in many technical products you may have seen, the manuals are there, the FAQs are there, instructions are there, user experience messaging is there. Like in the social media posts, quizzes, interactive content, platform specific content, PR outreach, the social media surveys, the social media promotional materials. So these are the things. If you are very much inclined towards the making of the education materials, now you know many of things are going to the education online mode. So you can create the online course content development, and you can be a script writer also for the video scripts, for podcast scripts, for the radio scripts, for the motion graphic scripts, and you can be an ad and promo writer also. Advertisement copy is a very conventional form, very classic form. So these kind of things you can do. You can write for the multimedia. Search engine optimization is one of the very important part, because search engine optimization, making of the keywords which can crawl the content when someone is searching on the Google. This is also a technical dimension, but if you are having some kind of technical inputs, you can be well in demand. Your communication and marketing writer, write on a corporate social responsibility, CSR, because nowadays, beyond a certain limit, if your turnover is there, 2% of your budget has to be spent, and profit has to be spent on the CSR activities. And you need to prepare all the CSR materials, and you have to make the CSR reports, you have to make the sustainability reports. So these reports, normally the companies hire also from other bodies. You can do that thing. There's another area, which is the research and report writing area. So this is also one of the area when researchers have done so many things. They have got the finding, they've got so many data, they've interpreted also. But while writing a report, many times they are not very much aware of the grammatical dimensions and the flow of the language. So there also you can provide them with your assistance as a service. Corporate dissertation is a very emerging area, because nowadays corporates are trying to highlight what they have done to their ways, and suppose they have launched a product, so how this product has gone through that, and they have written in the form of story. So such kind of corporate dissertations are coming. Feature writing is one of the area. Then even the press release writing. This is again one area where many companies don't have that kind of expertise. So they move through certain agencies. And even agencies are also not having full-time writers for that. So you can think in this direction. Likewise, your customer success stories, case studies. Many companies make their own case studies and contact the various education institutions to give that case study to the students and tell them how the company has grown and how the success story has gone. So if you know this, you can write for them. The product content guide, the testimonial, the comparison sheets, and some kind of you can say the customer contests are being also organized. So writing the material for that, and some posts, some blogs, writing of the vision, mission, goal, objectives of an organization, because you'll find that on every site, on every literature, company has to decide about the vision, mission, goals, and objective. They mention that also. So if you are a good content writer, you can write these things for them, because especially in the industry, in the MSME sector, they are not much aware how to write all these things. Likewise, the standard operating procedures in the manufacturing unit, standard laboratory procedure, standard machinery procedures. These are the things which people don't know how to write. They know how to operate the machine, but they don't know how to write a standard operating procedure. Likewise, minutes of meeting, writing of minutes of meeting, especially when companies are new, they're private limited, they are having a rule as per the company secretary law. They have to write, they have to conduct a meeting of board of directors on a periodical basis, and they have to write the minutes of meeting, and they don't know how to write that minutes of meeting. So you can take, give your provider services like that, your business letters, your exhibition content and layouts, the flow charts of the production process, the sales report, the marketing analytics, the business analytics, the performance appraisals, the corporate research papers, the company annual report is a very important part, the coffee table books, the thesis, the book reviews, the product inserts, likewise the lead generation, how to generate the lead. For that, so many contents are being written, the web banners. So these are many things are there. I've just given you a few of the examples. Tweeters, nowadays the Twitter has emerged like anything on social media, and you can write Twitter content for some celebrity. Even some people who know the things, but they are big people, but they don't know how to write these things. Likewise, the reader-centric copywriting, you must have some fashion writing, some lifestyle writings, some influencer writings. There's so many microsites for whom you can write. Matter for the Wikipedia. Wikipedia also invite the content writers to write some matter. And so these are a few of the areas where you can work. And business proposals are there. Many times sending of a business proposal, especially to the buyers. So these are many of the areas, but now I'm coming to the last segment. How you start with the business? These are the areas in which you can work. So you should make a proper business plan for your business. Like what is the name of your business plan, and what is basically a brief concept note about your entire business. What kind of services you are going to provide? What is the gap analysis? Because what is present in the market and what you are going to offer in the market, there must be certain gap. If you are going to fulfill that gap, then there will be a great demand for your services. Then obviously your mission, your vision, your goals, your objective. Try to have some data collection of the industry overview. Suppose you are working in the content industry, then okay, you should have the industry overview. Suppose you are opening your own ad agency, then you can have the industry overview of that area. Do a market analysis, do a consumer analysis or customer analysis, and do your business environment analysis. The first analysis we used to say that the P for political, E for economical, S for social, E for technological, E for environmental, and L for legal. So in pastel framework analysis, you will be able to understand what are the various macroeconomic factors which are going to affect your business. What is the demand analysis? And as I've told you, first you have done your SWOT analysis. Now you do the SWOT analysis of your business. What is the strength of your business? What is the weakness of your business? What are the opportunities available for your business? And what are the threats or challenges for your business? So this will help you in drawing off a proper strategy. And then if any brand has to be there, create your own brand. Whatever your ad agency is there, whatever your content writing service is there, create your own brand. Registration of brand. In content management, IPR is very important. I told you, like nowadays, the plagiarism is a very important part. That on the plagiarism, it should not be more than 10% as per the UC guideline. So whether it's a patent, whether it's a trademark, whether it's a copyright dimension, whether it's the GI dimension. So you need to take care of that in your content writing. You should not abruptly copy and paste from any place, because this is a criminal offense. You need to register your own brand with the register of trademark, and so that you can protect your brand. Otherwise, you will do a lot of hard work, and someone else will get the benefit of that. And what is your future diversification? Suppose you start with the content writing, but in future you want to add some other services or the PRO communication services. You can write it down. Do your segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Which segment will be your segment? Whether you are providing services to some ad agencies directly or to some clients directly, or both of them? What is your segment? Where will you target? Target in the metropolitan cities where the maximum revenues are there, or B grade cities where they don't have much expertise, but the base is quite big. And position yourself as a quick service provider, quality service provider, innovative service provider. Then you decide about your type of business. Normally, in such kind of things, proprietary or partnership firms are working more. Then you can go for a private limited company also. You should have a memorandum and article of association that CA can work for you. You can take the help of your CA. What are the facilities required for your business? Good part is that in such kind of mass communication services, you don't need much infrastructure. You can even start from your home, have a laptop, and you can start the things. You don't need much infrastructure for that, unlike the manufacturing industry or the service industry. What kind of human resource you will require, that is very important part. I suggest that initially you start with yourself, and then don't hire a permanent workforce initially. Gradually, when your business will grow, then you can think of this direction. And how to do your marketing, because again, to provide your services, you need to take the help of the modern media, whether it's a social media part or some other digital media aspect, you have to take care of, because you have to reach to the concerned people. But hit the people directly also, because you have to sell your proposals to all the agencies also, that you are such kind of provider of content services or some other kind of services, or the companies itself directly. Majority of cases, we have seen that companies are either having their own in-house advertising agency, or they take care of some outside agency. So you have to approach both kind of agencies so that you can get the business on both angles. What are the service features? What are the various service features of your corporate communication ventures? You should highlight that. What are your pricing strategy? You should be very clear. It should be competitive enough. It should not be much low, much high. It should be competitive. And your area of distribution should be very clear, that where you are actually focusing, whether you are focusing on Delhi and NCR or Mumbai region or some other areas. So you should be very clear about that. And main thing is the customer satisfaction, because your satisfied customer, your loyal customer is your best friend ambassador, and you are in the service industry basically. So focus more and more on service. Communication should not be like that. If your customer is contacting you, contact them and reply them, satisfy them. Only then they will be retained with you. The very important aspects I've told you in the beginning is the financial part. So whenever you start any business, first define your activities, what you are going to do, and the cost incurred on every activity. Then you're on infrastructure, whatever gadgets you are purchasing, whatever equipments you are purchasing. So in this way, you first make a budget that how much money will you require in the beginning. Start small, as I told you in the beginning, and then you gradually grow when your business will grow. So this is the way you will make the budget. Have some contingency fund, have some working capital with you, so that you should not face any problem. Because many of times, the good part is that unlike the manufacturing industry, you purchase the material from somewhere and then you sell. But here, this is not like that. You are actually utilizing your own brain, you are utilizing your own knowledge, your own skill. But ultimately, in return to that, you need the money. So many times, this is found that you have raised the bill and your payment is not coming timely. So take the follow, but very politely, so that your client should be retained with you, and they are the people who are giving you money. So this is the way you can come to the break-even point where there will be no profit, no loss, and after then you will reaching to a profitable part that you will start running a profit. So see, such kind of aspects in the financing is very important, and don't spend too much money in the beginning. Don't go for a very lavish office and all these things, because in the beginning you don't need this. Gradually, when you start going, in majority of cases nowadays, either things are being done on the mobile, on the online mode, or you go to the customer. So in rare cases, the customer will come to your office. So you don't need much luxurious office in the beginning. Well, when your income will grow, then you can do all these things. So these are few of the dimensions which I covered in the today's deliberation of what are the various entrepreneurial avenues which are available in the field of the mass communication. as a career of an industry 4.0. I hope this is going to help you a lot, and you will start thinking in this direction, because entrepreneurship is nothing but a mindset. And in the end, I will just quote a Sanskrit shloka that Udyamen hi siddhanti karyani na manortha nahi suktasya singhasya pravishanti mukhe. The meaning is that everything can be done only by doing a hard work, not but just by having a dream. Even when lion has to hunt a deer, they will have to work hard. Deer doesn't come automatically in the mouth of lion. So this is what we should know. And if you work hard, you will definitely get success. Wish you all the best for your great and golden future. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. R.K. Singh, for the wonderful presentation, which will give a new insight to the students. Friends, that's all for the day. Look forward to see you with another subject tomorrow.